Oh boy, if I can get service up here, it'd be a miracle. I'm up hunting with my kids and my dad. I'm hoping you guys can see me. Yeah, I hope I have service. I got this funny hat with these things drop down to cover my ears. My brother-in-law Schaefer always teases me because I love hats that have the little ear muffs. Keep your ears warm. All right, Marianne's on here. We got one person, so I know you can see me now. Well, I probably look pretty rugged. We've been up here for a few days, and the timing of this trip really wasn't good because we got a whole big crew of ER shredders starting. And so I'm just counting on all the other people to support everyone because I can only do so much from here. But we got a good team down, doing a great job supporting everybody. Here's a little tip. Here's a golden nugget for you. Okay, this is one of the things that I'm 3 months, you guys. So you might think this is some bad thing. It's not. I'm 3 months on this ER shred, and it's an 11-day process to jumpstart you. But really, you can form a lifestyle out of it. And so, with that in mind, let me teach you one of the key components that's critical for you to know. Critical. Okay. This is an interesting phenomenon. I always had this really sensitive stomach. And so I thought I couldn't eat eggs. Why? Because I would get horribly gassy, like the most smelly gas ever. Sorry, TMI, from eggs. I thought I couldn't eat like a Polish beef sausage or anything like that. I would get horrible gas. But there's a whole host of things, not just meat. There's so many things that I just thought, no, that can't eat that, can't eat that, can't eat that. Now here's what's interesting. If you give me a plate of, let's say, 2 eggs, let's say some bacon, maybe even like a little bit of steak, put a bunch of butter on it, salt, I get no gas, nothing. I get no bloat, absolutely nothing. And what's interesting is since my body has become fat adaptive, see, a lot of people don't understand what fat adaptive is. Fat adaptive is when your body learns how to not just burn glucose for energy all the time. You learn how to burn fat for energy. Now, what do you think our ancestors did? Our ancestors, the hunter-gatherers, they would eat a lot of meat, a lot of animal fats, a lot of animal organs, and that fat would fuel their energy so that they could thrive on a daily basis. It wasn't that often that they came across berries, plants, and it wasn't until the industrial revolution, all the agriculture, that came forth and all of a sudden, plants were readily available. It didn't used to be that way, and it makes you wonder naturally what we're supposed to be doing by nature genetically, okay? Because you look at animals and they only eat usually 1 or 2 things. They only gravitate towards 1 or 2 things. I was thinking about it just last night and I thought, maybe a raccoon would eat a lot of things, but that's only because it's getting access to our foods. But all animals, they only eat like 1 or 2 things, and that's it. You don't see a bear going and trying to eat sage. They don't do it. They know not to do it. Or maybe they did it when they were young and they learned that don't eat that crap because that's not for you. And it's the same thing all the way around. A bird knows not to eat what a deer eats, or, and a cat knows that, it's not to go eat what a fish eats. Everybody kind of has their own sphere, and they innately know what they should eat. Well, us human beings, we don't have a frickin' clue, and because we're so emotional, we're emotional beings, and it's the emotion that really gets us, because our emotions get the best of us, and we listen to other people, we pay attention. Like a bear would never grab another bear and walk it over and say, hey, you see this over here, see these these peanuts, you're supposed to eat these peanuts. It doesn't work like that. But human beings, we think we're supposed to have everything at our disposal and eat everything all the time. And then we convince other people, because we're emotional beings and we are insecure by nature, most all of us, we always got to convince people to do what we're doing, don't we? And so whatever we're doing is the best, and we got to be right, and we got to convince others. And we also like to contribute, and we like to share, and that's just all goodness in us too, so that's good. But we're causing each other some real problems, because if I eat that same meal with the steak and the eggs and a little bit of, a lot of butter, salt, if I add potatoes to that, I'm in trouble. If I add tomatoes to that, I'm in trouble. Now, the reason I know this is because I've spent 3 months playing with the concept. If I add an apple, I'm in trouble. Now think about why that is. And when I say I'm in trouble, I will bloat like crazy, I will get horrific gas, and the gas will not stop for a very long time. Hey Adam, thanks for joining, man. Thanks for all your support. Keep supporting everybody. I'm away. So why? Why does the body do this? Well, let's just break it down into very simple terms. You, human being, maybe you can either, I gotta get out of this one. Maybe you can either break down sugars, or you can break down fats, healthy fats for energy. And ideally, your body can fluctuate from one to the other. Healthy fats, good. Those are available, good. I'll burn the fats for energy. Oh, we got some berries over here. We found berries. Eat a bunch of berries, burn those for energy. Quick burn, not as sustained, not as efficient, but it is energy. Now, you start mixing the two, and that's where you run into problems. Because, I mean, just think of the common sense of it. When you throw sugar into the mix, what do they use when they ferment things? They use yeast and they use sugar. And what does yeast feed off of? Sugar. Our bodies have yeast in them, and we're supposed to have yeast. Women have problems with yeast overgrowth because women, on average, eat like double the amount of sugar as men. Women, hormonally, they're more attracted to sugar. And this is statistically proven. Now, you add in sugar with all kinds of proteins, and you could potentially have a problem. You could have, for one, you're confusing the body. Am I burning fat for energy? Am I burning sugar for energy? You could be negating that highly efficient animal fats that you could burn for energy. And the sustaining effect, I mean, you can go all day on these animal fats and you just don't believe how good you feel. It is a different kind of energy. And most people have never, in their whole lives, felt the benefit of being fat adaptive. They've never burned animal fat for energy in their entire lives. And I'll tell you how to know if you haven't, because when you go on this ER shred, after about the first 4 or 5 days, you're going to have something happen. For one, you might encounter a little bit of diarrhea, and that is your body trying to switch over. It's trying to convert, I'm not getting glucose, I'm not getting carb, I'm not getting the sugar. So when it's learning to convert over and burn animal fat, you'll get a little diarrhea, and it might last anywhere from 2 to 7 days. On top of that, once your body flips over, and we're seeing it on average, I would say about day 5 now, when your body flips over, you freaking feel like $1 million. You feel so freaking good. I'm telling you, you've got energy and your mind is working. And like, it's almost like if you took an old broken down, beat up, lawnmower, and you took it in and you just make this thing like new. And they go in and they just go through the engine, put in new parts, put in high quality performance, everything, and gas and everything, and all of a sudden that sucker's just running like a charm. That's how people are on day 5. And that's why we're saying come alive. You come alive on day 5. Just give it 4 days, you'll come alive on day 5. Okay? Don't you think there's a reason women gravitate more towards sugar? Like maybe they need glucose more than men? I wouldn't think so, because our ancestors, like, I look at human beings as animals. Since I left religion, I look at human beings as animals now, Aubrey. So if you look at animals, that would be like saying, wouldn't you think a doe would eat a lot more sugar than a buck? And it's like, no, they eat the same stuff. So that'd be my opinion based on just I'm a common sense kind of guy. I just kind of look at things and evaluate. I don't need to hear all the studies all the time and hear all the scientific data. Oftentimes data to me is just garbage. Just sharing my personal opinion. Oftentimes data looks good on paper and it sounds good and we can justify things, but I just go off results. So that's my thing. So women, why would they maybe gravitate towards sugar more? Could have something to do with the serotonin, the hormone in women that they want that stuff. That's why they're more sensitive as well. Serotonin is the feel good, warm and fuzzy chemical brain in the brain. Men have, I think, more dopamine, which is more of the, gusto and it's the emotion that's more like, probably deals more with gratification in terms of, you know, success and accomplish and things like that. I mean, women have it too. We both have both of the hormones. It's just, yeah, women have more serotonin. But anyway, with all that said, now, if you can get your body to stay on fat, if you can get your body, don't feed it sugar at the same time as animal fats. If you're going to eat a good meal of meat and you know, animal fats, bacon, eggs, butter, keep it at that. Don't introduce sugar to that. Don't put berries on it. Don't put anything that's got any kind of glucose or carbohydrate on that. This is my advice based on my 3-month experience. Okay. Now, if you're saying, well, I love, you know, berries and I love tomatoes and I love, well, post ER shred, try to eat those things by themselves. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to, you know, eat that fat meal, animal protein meal, and make it nice and you know, hefty, and it'll really hold you over and satisfy you. And then give it like, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours, and then eat a hearty serving of vegetables or fruits, berries, you know, what have you. Now that's my recommendation, and in my experience, this is very, very smart to do things this way. Think about the common sense of it. It's not like, you know, our ancestors would gather all the berries and put them in the fridge because they didn't have a fridge, so they wouldn't save the berries for their big meat feast. Now we got to think. My friend Jesse Jamnick, he made a great point. He says, yeah, science has evolved and, you know, everything's evolved, but, you know, genetically our bodies, our organs, our digestion, like we are what we were made to be. So I'm just saying, watch the feedback, okay? Watch the feedback, how your body responds. The cool thing about ER Shred is that you are going to learn how to listen to your body. It's a freaking miracle. I'm telling you guys, if anybody doesn't understand what this is all about, you get on it. Give us until day 5, and you're going to go, oh my God, I don't want to go back to, like, guys, I ate chips and salsa every day of my life. Every single day. It was like a meal for me. I would go to the chips and salsa. I'd buy the most expensive organic chips, gluten-free, blah, blah, blah. And I would buy the best salsa I could buy. And guess what? I would eat that every day. And sometimes I would eat it, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm kind of full. I guess that's my meal kind of thing. But I haven't had chips and salsa in 3 months, and I don't miss it, and I don't want it. And that's because I'm convinced that was one of those inflammatory things that was wreaking havoc on my body and on my system, okay? Inflammation is the killer. Inflammation. And what we're doing with ER Shred, we're not saying that that is what removes inflammation. What we're doing is we're supporting your body as it gets off all the potential inflammatory foods, the most common inflammatory foods. So hope that makes sense. In your eating habits, try to be more disciplined. Don't mix everything together. Like if I'm going to eat a piece of dark chocolate, I will eat a piece of dark chocolate by itself with nothing else, and I'll separate that from anything else by at least like an hour. Why do I do it? It's just, to me, it's common sense. Like, it's like our ancestors. They stumbled upon something sweet. They have no way of preserving it or putting it in the fridge. They'd eat it and move on. Let the body process that. Quick burn energy. And then, someone's liking my stuff. Jesse, baby! Oh, Jesse. Thanks for all you do, Jesse, while I'm gone. I really appreciate you keeping up on everybody and everything you've taught me, man. Like we've taught each other, but you're just a little more scientific than me, and I'm a little more common sense. So we complement each other a lot that way. Hope this is helpful, guys. It's important that you understand you add all that glucose and carbohydrate and everything else in with that protein source. Not only are you negating the fat adaptive benefit, you're not going to have that really sustaining, highly efficient energy from fat anymore because your body's going to turn to the glucose and burn it fast. And then when that burns out, you're low again. You can't just burn sugar. Have you guys seen these kids and all they do is live off sugar? Why do you think they're so moody? Get those same kids off the sugar. Just, Jesse, you know what, Jesse? No. Are you telling me I don't have good common sense? No, you do actually. I know you do. You have a good balance of both. Not everybody has that, and I mean it. But anyway, kids, get these kids off all that glucose and sugar and carb, and get them on animal fats for 3-4 days. Watch the difference in their mood. Watch how good they behave. Watch how the brain starts clicking. Guys, I've been with my dad. Get this. I'm just going to give you feedback. So I've been up here with my dad for, I think, 3 days now. My dad is different. My dad, my own father, who is a health nut, he's completely different. And he's got energy, and he's engaging, and he's fun, and he's funny, and he's happy. There's something special going on here with this ER shred, you guys. My dad did the 11 days to the T, and he lost 9 pounds. But the thing with my dad is I know my father so well. We had visitors over, over the other day, I guess it was yesterday. He just sat there and he engaged, and he was present, and he was alert, and he was, my dad's about 73, I think, but he was so present and happy and engaging and interested. And I got to tell you guys, my dad hasn't been that way for years. He has not been that way for you. My dad's a great person, but he always, if there's people and they're visiting, he usually disengages and he zones out, or he goes off and sits off a ways and goes and looks at his phone. He's different, and he's got energy. My dad's 73, and I've been watching him all day. He's moving around and getting things done, and I'm going, oh my God, like we've discovered something magical here. If you can think of anybody that could benefit from just feeling better, forget the weight loss, forget everything else. If people are just feeling mentally shot and their outlook on life is shot, you've got to get them on this for just 4 days. And by the 5th day, they're going to come alive and they're going to thank you. I can say that. That's not a health claim. There's something magical happening, you guys. There's something freaking magical happening. The way I feel, my mind is clear all day. I've got energy all freaking day. I could go hike up that mountain. I could come back. I could do a whole workout. 2 hours. I can go all This is not how I was. I mean, I was one of those dads that was like, oh, just dragging through. Oh my God, now I got to do this. Oh my God. Like, it was painful for me. I know how dads feel. I know how moms feel. So, guys, this is a gift. Thank you, Jesse. That's the right word. It's a gift. It is a gift. And forget about how you look. Forget about the abs. Forget about the weight. Forget about the scale. Forget about the tape measure. Focus on how you feel. You're going to notice something pretty magical happening. And think about the common sense of it. Are we supposed to be eating all this stuff all the time? Together? Mixing it all up? Or not? I don't care what the standard American diet is, and I don't care what the government told us, and I don't care if they've been teaching the same bullshit since I was in the 1st grade, and all the food groups and all this garbage about fiber and all this. Guys, you got to go back to the common sense of it. What did our ancestors have available, and how did they start doing that? Watch the difference. All right. Thanks for being on with me. All the best.